So, I'm sure y'all are wondering why I gathered you here. We have something very important to discuss. An issue that I have seen just snowball, and no one's talking about it. No one cares, no one's reporting, and I felt it was my civic duty as a diva. Sorry, I just feel like my hands are kind of itchy. That's not very diva-like. Pulling up my notes, because I've done research. My name is Mason. This is my channel. I talk about whatever I feel like. And today, we're going to be talking about the diva decline. Where are all the divas? So, if you're a baddie such as myself, we'll dim this for the meantime. If you're a baddie such as myself, you grew up around divas. Your mom always made sure she had a pair of earrings on. You know, I'm a Southern Belle, Texas born and raised, so, you know, we had to be best dressed at church, you know, the works. I'm making this for the girlies who sat in the beauty salon with their grandmother for hours. I'm making this for the girlies who would go shopping with their mom, and their mom would be like, don't tell dad. These are the girlies that I'm making it for. But I've noticed, just as I've perused the social webs and just observing the shift away from divadom, I've noticed that we're not seeing a lot of divas. We're seeing a lot of clean girls. We're seeing a lot of minimalism. We're seeing a lot of almond girls and thing, you know, the Lululemoners, the Stanley Cups, you know, the Uniforty, the Skims, you know, watered down, minimal. We're seeing a lot of that. Where's the high glam girlies? Where are the girlies that wake up 3-4 hours early to do their hair and makeup? We're not seeing that anymore. And at first I was like, oh, you know, aesthetics change with the times, you know. We see it all the time. So I thought it was just politics shifting, and it is. But why? So we got to take it back. I decided to do a little bit of research and figure out what is the reason for the diva decline. I made a little notes and everything. I'm really not playing with y'all. Like, I'm really not playing with y'all. Okay, starting off. Defining the diva. What is diva? So, the technical definition of a diva, this is per Oxford language. So the diva is a famous opera singer, a famous female singer of pop music, a self-important person who was temperamental and difficult to please, typical of a woman. Yeah. So the word diva derives from Latin. The origin is Italian, late 19th century, and the original meaning is goddess or deity, deity or deity? Whatever. Goddess, basically. The diva was someone who was not of this world. They brought an otherworldly type of glamour. That is quintessentially the diva, yes? And so it started off in the world of opera. So in opera, you had the prima donnas and divas. These words are going to be used interchangeably. So the diva was typically a soprano singer. You know, they had the opera, and the diva was the main attraction. She was the soprano. She was the leading lady. This is who sold out the tickets. This is who people came to see. And with the diva, they had a male counterpart, the divo. This is usually the tenor. Now, riddle me this. The word diva, prima donna, we still use those words to this day. Mind you, this was what? Pull out my research. The 19th century. It has Latin origin. Do you know how old this word is? And still, only the derogatory female version of this word is still used. The word diva or the term diva never picked up. Why is that, we ask? I have a reason, but we'll get to that. Before, it didn't necessarily have the negative connotation or whatever. Yeah, it just meant that you were good at your job. It doesn't really have the same like attitude. The part about the temperamental and difficult person to read, that became later. But at this point in time, early 16th, 19th, whatever century, everything's fine. This is just someone who's really good at their job, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let me give you a few examples of some early divas. So Anna Resi, she was hailed for her beauty. People created opera plays solely just to star her. People created roles around her. That's how you know you're a good actor, when people create roles around you. And her talent superseded her. So something important to remember. During this time where like the opera singers, you know, you think 19th century, 16th century, old-timey, whatever, women did not have rights. Women did not have rights. Parents retained sole ownership for their daughters, and then once the daughter get married, usually they marry them off at like 14, 13, those rights swiftly get passed on to the husband. The woman has no say at any point in her life. So the thing about it is, when these women would reach fame, of course they're getting money, and with money you reach a new class. With a new class you get new opportunities. So because she had the money to say, no, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm in charge of myself, I have these demands, I require this, she moved as an independent, autonomous person. And of course, when you're in a society where women cannot have any rights, none, of course, I think this is where that negative connotation started to spin. Because if you're going from working with women who literally don't have a say in anything they do versus women that are opinionated, they're strong, they know that they're the main attraction. They know that people come there to see them, and they use that to their advantage to gain social capital and to gain privileges that women of lower classes were not able to get. Of course, it's going to leave a sour taste in people's mouth. So I think this is where diva, the term diva, slowly started to have a little twing, a little negative connotation to it, because these were women, these were people that men were accustomed to them not having any rights, not having any say. And now they're opinionated, they have money so they can do what they want, and I think jealousy was a part of it. And of course, misogyny. Just a fun fact, guys, just in general, the reason for a lot of stuff is misogyny. So yeah, I think misogyny, but I think this is where it starts to make the shift, way back then. That was the 1600s. Now we're gonna fast forward to the 50s, 70s, 80s, early 2000s. I think this is when we come to understand the diva as we know now. She's a pop star, she's an actress, she's a woman with talent. She's a woman who has a craft, even if her talent is looking dang good all the time. She has purpose, she has skill, and this is when these women come to mind. So of course we have Marilyn Monroe, we've got Dorothy Dandridge, we've got Cher, we got Donna Summers, we got Lil' Kim. These are the people. When I think of diva, I'm gonna think of Cher, I'm gonna think of Whitney Houston, I'm gonna think about those people. We had several divas to choose from during this time, and the part where I get controversial. So you're like, Mason, I mean, rich white ladies have been able to do whatever they want for a while now. Like, what do you mean? Why do you feel like da 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 da? Well, I'm gonna bring up a stereotype that also started to take off around this time. Or not this time, it's been since the beginning of time, but I'm going to bring up another stereotype that kind of had its way with this. And this stereotype is the angry black woman stereotype. When we think of the angry black woman, we think of someone who's opinionated, she's temperamental, she's upset, she's difficult. Mind you, these are all words that were used to describe the Oxford language's definition of a diva. So I'm not pulling it out of my butt, y'all. Yeah, let's read it again. The diva in the Oxford language, the official definition is a self-important person who is temperamental and difficult to please. I personally feel like, because divas were also opinionated, strong, good at what they do, heavily invested in their craft, heavily ambitious, I think that those stereotypes started to overshadow and mix and mingle with each other. Because notice a lot of those women that I named that were divas were black women. And unfortunately, if we pay attention, the diva title is most of the time given to a woman of color. Why? Stay with me. My core point is, I feel like the root of the disgruntlement, the negative feelings towards the diva word and the negative connotation comes with the overlap of the angry black woman stereotype. Because if we're being honest on who's defined as a diva and who's not, like post 70s, they're only talking about the black girls, because let's be for real, the other girls are not given. And then even the girls that were given, most of the time they got their inspiration from, or some of them flat out copy black women. I'm about to come from one of the biggest divas. No tea, no shade, all facts. So take Cher, one of our most well-known divas. Cher was heavily acclaimed for her costumes, for her music. I mean, all over. When we think of diva, this is probably one of the top three, one of the main people we think of. Besides, you know, Diana Ross, like all those, you know, all those people. But we put Cher in the top heavy diva weight class. And honestly, I may make a video ranking divas, because I think that'd be fun. So yeah, Cher's pretty high on the diva totem pole. Whole time, Cher actually got a lot of her inspiration, we use that word loosely, from Amy Stewart, who was a fashion icon and a popular disco singer, funk singer. People know, I'm gonna insert like pictures. Girl, I got the pictures right here. I mean, honestly, if you want to just, now who that look like? This is who she's pulling her inspiration from. But we only see Cher on the billboard. We only see Cher discussed when it comes to fashion, when this is who she was getting the fashion from. Which reinforces my point that a lot of these girls who received the diva title, most of the time they were black women, primarily women of color. But we all know what happens when we see a woman, primarily a black woman, being very good at their job and being very fierce about it and not taking no for an answer and standing their ground. People hate it. So I think this is where that temperamental, and then even if we take it further, when we think of, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll come back to that. We'll cut that there. I was giving it to you. I almost gave it up too easy. Can't give it up too easy. So yeah, that's the basis angle that I'm working from. I think misogynoir has a lot to do with why diva has a negative connotation. Diva is often admired and imitated, but they're put under a microscope and even demonized. This we know. You can be beautiful, you can be talented, you can be feminine, you cannot revel in it. You can't own your sexuality. People build up the diva to bring her back down. We think of Pamela Anderson. We think of Mariah Carey. We think of Janet Jackson. I think those are very textbook case of the rise and the fall of the diva. People build her up. She's so good at what she does. Oh my God. She's so beautiful. She's sexy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God. Wait. Oh, she has an attitude. Oh, wait. What do you mean I can't sexualize you? What? Oh, you have an opinion? You're just supposed to look really pretty and make good looks. Oh my God. We hate you, diva. You see? So at this point, we understand the original meaning of the diva. We understand where things went sour. We have an inkling of an understanding of why things could have gone sour. You may ask, well, Mason, if a diva is this and a diva ain't that, and this, that, and the third, then what is the true diva? I'm glad you asked. And now, we're going to be characterizing the diva. To me, to I, there are four pillars of divadom. There's charm, confidence, effort, and image. Let's start from the top, shall we? So, charm. The diva is captivating. She's witty. She knows how to work a crowd. She records well on camera, People hang on to the Diva's every word. This is the difference. That charm, that wit, that je ne sais quoi, that's the difference between a very well-dressed lady and a diva. The diva knows how to woo. She knows how, she either has a gift, most of the time in the arts, so she has like the moves of the artist. She knows how to draw people in, and that's one of the main reasons why people hate her, because it's like you can't help but to watch. They know this, they take this, and they use it to their advantage. So charm is very essential for the diva. And then confidence, or I said flamboyancy. The diva is confident. She doesn't hide from the spotlight. She runs head first into it. She's not afraid of being the center of attention. She's not afraid of saying, I want to be the center of attention. She likes to stand out. She likes to be ahead of the curve. And now, not all divas start off this way. We know Beyonce was very shy. You know, we don't always start off the diva. But once that egg, the diva egg, is cracked, and you're sentient, and you're like, wait, why am I playing small fiddle? I'm a diva. It comes. It's sometimes, some people, it's natural from the get-go, they're divas. Usually something happens where people see that charm, that wit, they see that natural je ne sais quoi that divas have, and they try to snuff it out early. But the diva always prevails. So, yes, confidence. The diva loves attention. They don't shy away from it. They're not scared of it. They enjoy it. Why? Because they know they've earned it. Which leads us into, oh wait, no, not leads us. I keep going too fast. Let me read my notes. Yeah. She likes to be ahead of the curve. She may not start out this way, but as she blossoms into divadom, she comes to understand her power and hones in on it eventually. They take pride in their divadom. The diva is cocky, and rightfully so. She's earned it. She owns her sexuality. She owns her fluidity. The diva cannot be contained. Think of a peacock. They only contain those feathers when they want to. But when they want that attention, when they feeling good, they gonna shake it out. So yeah, confidence. Which leads us into, you remember that part where I said the diva is confident and cocky, and rightfully so, because they've earned it. Which leads us into effort. The diva is a maximalist. She works hard at her crafts. She puts effort into her appearance. She wants to be seen because she makes that effort. Like I was saying before, the diva's going to wake up 3-4 hours early to get that hair and makeup exactly as it should. The diva is going to scour the internet for a special dress to wear to this event that she knows she's only going to wear it one time, but she still has to make sure that she has the perfect outfit. This is the girl who's going to wear heels all the time. She wore heels. The girl, I know y'all hated, and see, that's the thing. Y'all hated the girl that wore heels to school, but that was a diva in the making. That was a diva in the making. You know, the teacher were like, oh, don't do your makeup in here. This isn't a beauty class. That was a diva. That was a diva in the making. That's what set the difference. Taylor Swift, she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. Yeah, because you're lame. You're not a diva. You're not a diva, so you wouldn't get it. So no, yeah, you were gonna wear t-shirts while she puts on a miniskirt. Yeah, you're gonna wear, busted sandals while she pulls the heels out. Why? Because she makes the effort. The effort is what separates the diva between a well-dressed woman, a normal, just a regular girl, versus the diva. It's the effort. And that's where that cockiness comes into play, because yeah, I just spent 3 hours changing my outfit, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just tore my room apart to bring this look to you guys. So yeah, I want y'all to see it. I paid this much for my lashes. I paid this much for my nails. I paid this much for a wax. Yeah, I want y'all to see it. Effort is what makes the difference. And I find that a lot of the time women resent the diva for the effort that she puts in, or they resent her for the attention that she gets, but they don't pay attention to that effort in the back end. You're mad that all the men are looking at her, but they're looking at her because she got up in 3 extra hours. She put that effort into her outfit. She didn't just comb her hair, put on a Lululemon tracksuit and call it a day. She put in the effort, time. She cares about how she looks. She cares about herself. There's a self-love in that. She cares about how she presents. The effort is what makes all the difference. It's a craft to her. And that's really, I'm really finna break it down for y'all. Y'all really not ready for it. I'm about to break it down. The effort that divas put in is because they see their presentation. It's performance art, which leads me to the fourth, which is image. So obviously a diva is going to turn a look, obviously. A poorly dressed diva is an oxymoron. You got more chances of seeing a five-legged snake. A diva that is not dressed well is someone who is in the midst of crisis. There's a crisis happening. Even in her state of lounging, she goes the extra mile. You know, in the old movies from the 50s where, you know, the girl, she's in her vanity. She's like taking off her makeup or whatever for the day. You know, her curls are bumped, or they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting guests. Curls bumped. She has like the tulle. You know, they have the long house coat with the feathers on the end, and they run down the stairs with their giant robe flapping dramatically behind them. That's their idea of lounging. That's the diva. And that is what the diva does. That separates the diva. It's all about what I was saying about effort, image, confidence, charm. They all go hand in hand because divas see divadom as an art form. It's performance art. It's more than just turning a look. It's a performance. I'm going to give you a show. I'm not going to give you I'm going to give you the whole thing. I was watching Memoirs of a Geisha recently. My girlfriend showed me that movie. I just love Michelle Yeoh. Also honorable diva, Michelle Yeoh. Shout out her. I was watching Memoirs of a Geisha, and one of the quotes that really stuck out to me, you know, she was teaching her protege, you know, she was teaching her how to sit gracefully, how to pour the tea just so, and, you know, how to throw your head back and laugh in a way that's, you know, tantalizing and all those things. And she said that, you know, geishas are, what did she say? I wrote it down. Yeah, living art pieces. In everything that they were doing is performance art. And that's what separates the difference between a diva and a girl that just, you know, she's like, you know, a pretty girl. It's a performance. It's a show. That's why they have that effort, and that's why they don't shy away from the attention. No, I want you to see, because I'm creating art. This look that I turned this was art. This was art. It's their form of artistry. Like in the way that like a makeup artist, like we're not just saying like, oh, she does makeup. No, a makeup artist, a hair stylist. It takes more effort, and that's why they have the call. That's why they want that attention, because it's art. So those are the 4 pillars of divadom. We've characterized the diva. We define the diva. We know all this. You may be asking, okay, well, what's the difference between the diva waking up at 3 a.m. for whatever reason to do her makeup versus a wife waking up at 3 a.m. so her husband doesn't see her without makeup on? You know, what's the difference? They're both performing femininity. Like, we could easily argue that femininity as a whole is a performance, which wouldn't necessarily be wrong, but that's a conversation for another day. I'm not talking about that, but I am kinda, but not really. This is my point. My point is, within the patriarchy, we want women to be feminine, yes, but not in a way that outshines the man. You can get dressed up, of course, for your husband. You could dress up for your husband. You could dress up so your boyfriend thinks you look good. You could dress up so his friends think you're hot. But don't dress up too much, because then now you're looking for attention. And that's unbecoming of a woman. Your sole purpose should be dressing and doing yourself up in a way that's for your husband, or will sub-husband for the male gaze. You're not supposed to do it for yourself. Or you're not supposed to do it in a way that may draw attention from other men, because no, you're your husband's property, so only your husband needs to look at you. So you need to look good for him, but not so good that you draw the attention from other men. That right there, that little part, that's the difference. You know, women, they're supposed to be seen and not heard. respectable, color inside the lines. You could be feminine. You could be even a little bit sexy, but you can't own it. In a patriarchal world, the perfect woman is the Virgin Mary. She's demure, she's modest, she's humble. She wants to look good for her husband, yes, but not so good that she attracts the attention of other men. She can't spend too much time on herself because then she can't just devote herself to being the perfect wife. Then she can't devote herself to taking care of the household. She can't spend 3 hours doing her makeup, trying out different wings and playing in her eyeshadow and all that kind of stuff because she's supposed to be watching them damn kids. That's really what it is. You're not supposed to spend all that time and money on shoes and all those things. You're supposed to be taking care of your husband. You're supposed to spend that money on groceries. You're not supposed to spend it on yourself, looking good for other men. Do y'all remember that episode of Sex in the City where Carrie goes to her new friend's house? She has kids. She just had kids or something like that. And her Manolo Blahniks gets stolen. And she goes to the girl and she's like, hey, my Manolo Blahniks got stolen at your house. You need to reimburse me. And she was like, oh, why would I spend that much money on a pair of shoes? I'm a mother. I have kids. Why would I spend all that? I could spend that money on my kids. Why would I spend that on my husband? That right there, that exchange, that's the difference between the normal, pick me, I use it loosely because I use it loosely, the pick me woman versus the diva. The diva's going to take that money, going to take that time, take that effort, and put it into herself and in her craft. She sees her image, her craft, because you got to remember, Carrie was in New York. She was a fashion girly, so it was important to her. It's how she expressed herself, and that's the thing. Divas do all that comes with the diva for the sake of self-expression. Much like an artist, it's art. Versus this woman, you don't need to pay that much for a pair of shoes, because she's under thinking, oh, I need to put that into my kids. She's not thinking about expressing herself. She's thinking about her kids. She's thinking about her husband. She's thinking about being the wife, capital WTM copyright sign. She's not thinking about herself as the individual. Maybe she loved shoes when she was younger, but her reasoning is, I'm a mother now, capital MTM copyright sign. I can't spend my money on those things. I can't express myself in those ways. I can't afford to have that autonomy. And that's the big difference. The autonomy to spend money on whatever frivolous, because reminder, women's interests are always going to be seen as frivolous. She sees it as frivolous. That right there, that dynamic right there, that is the difference. That's the key difference. She can't spend too much time on herself because she can't devote herself to taking care of the household. The perfect wife is selfless. She has no time to spend on her own personal passions. She's a wife. She's a mother, not a person. The diva is human in every single part. The parts that are sexy, the parts that are angry, the parts that are disgruntled, the parts that are dissatisfied. The diva takes, yes, she takes the beauty and the femininity and all those sweet things that may be fun to look at, but she's temperamental. She's difficult, meaning she doesn't shy away from her feelings. You're going to get, yes, I'm going to turn this look, but I'm also going to cuss you out. Why? Because the diva has those boundaries. The diva takes herself seriously. She doesn't play about her feelings. Versus the mother and the wife, they're not a person. So they have no need for anger or disgruntled or voicing those things. They feel like they're past the years of expressing themselves. They know their husband wouldn't want them to really express themselves. So they have no need for those negative emotions, and they have no need to voice them because they're a mother, they're a wife, etc., etc. The diva is human, and the world punishes them for it. The diva takes femininity, they subvert it, they make it campy, they blow it up till it's larger than life, and they're brazen about it. They're cocky about it. They revel in it. And we all know that cockiness and ambition and self-love and all those things are only appreciated in a man. This is why they hate the diva. Time for the conclusion. So in conclusion, We've defined the diva. We've characterized the diva. We've made presumptions. We've done, had some educated guesses about why people hate the diva now. But you may be asking, okay, we know why, but like, still, like, they had all that hate, they had all that misogyny and stuff back in the day. Like why is there a decline in divas now? There is a decline in divas now because the state of America. But no, seriously, our political climate is... Have you guys stepped outside? The reason why the diva has declined is because of our political climate. So it's often known in politics or just in general that politics tend to swing. For some years it'll be super liberal, super progressive, and then a couple of years later it'll swing back to ultra conservative, all that. We saw that with the first black president, gay rights being approved, all that kind of stuff. And what did we do? We swung right into Trump Town. It's just the nature of the beast. This we know. So with that logic, it would make sense that we'd go from the early 2000s, Lil Kim, Janet Jackson, all these people, like, I'd even argue Kim Kardashian and Beyonce and all that. We had a lot of that. But as America reaches, swings lower into fascism, we're seeing the trad wife. We're seeing the, we're seeing the divestors. We're seeing the soft life. We're seeing more how to get a man, how to bag a rich man, how to We're seeing more of that because women are not stupid and they understand the social climate. We just had our abortion rights taken away. So at this point, I think a lot of women are in okay, I need to find a man with some money, cling on to him because these rent prices are out of this world. I basically have no rights, or like my rights are being taken away by the second. So if I shut my eyes and I just put all my effort into looking pretty because I'm a girl, capital G, TM, copyright sign, so that's what I'm supposed to do, it's just so much easier than breaking this system and thinking critically. Because why would I think critically when I can just marry a rich guy and have him take care of all this stuff? Because I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. I don't know. I'm just a girl. So that's why we're seeing the trad wife. We're seeing the Lululemoners. We're seeing the divestors. We're seeing all that. Because, I mean, I'd argue that a lot of the divas from the 2010s, they've made the shift as well. We just saw Amber Rose taking a picture with Donald Trump. She was a feminist. She was labeling herself feminist. Did the whole slut walk. What was that? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? And now she's doing the Trumpy bit. Kim Kardashian with the whole blonde Americana aesthetic, when 3 years ago she was tanning herself silly and making them lymphatic massages appointments a couple of times a month. She was getting a BBL, she's getting double, triple, quadruple BBLs. But now, of course, the girls, they're taking their implants out, quiet luxury and all those things. People are trying to save themselves. Women are trying to save themselves. So they're trying to assimilate into femininity. They're trying to assimilate into being the perfect wife so they can be protected under the patriarchy. That's why we're seeing women like, oh, why does she dress up like that? Why does she do all that? Oh my God. That's why we're seeing all that. A lot of women would much rather assimilate than think critically, than put themselves out there, because it's easier. I won't act like it's not. It's easier, but the price that you pay is not worth it. And that's why both women and men, or that's why men and other women hate the diva. The diva does not assimilate. The diva goes against the current. They're not going to do what's easiest. They're going to do what they want to. they're gonna express themselves no matter what. Versus the performance of femininity for survival, that's what it is. It's the performance of femininity as an act of survival versus the performance of femininity as for the sake of art. Now, we could argue in today's time, both are frivolous. I won't act like that's not true. We could argue they're both frivolous. But I think much can be said. I won't act like both are frivolous, but there are very dire consequences for performing for the sake of approval versus performing for yourself. The diva is going to perform for themselves every time. They're going to do the hairstyle that every other girl is too afraid to do. They're going to wear the clothes that everyone's too afraid to wear. They're going to say the things that everyone else is too scared to say out loud. They take femininity and they use it as a weapon. They subvert it, they invert it, they flip it, they blow it up larger than life. And that is the difference. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to figure out if I should elaborate some more, but like, yeah. Femininity for the sake of survival, the Lululemon, the Skims. You have to walk with me, y'all. The Lululemon, the Skims, everyone getting the same 3 haircuts, getting the balayage, you know, quiet luxury, the row, all those things. So yeah, people would much rather be feminine for the sake of assimilation and raising their ranks class-wise versus for the sake of art and the sake of self-expression. So that's what separates the two, and that's why we're on the decline. People are trying to save themselves, which is understandable, I guess, but also not really. So yeah, that's my diva-dumb explanation. Those are my thoughts. I may elaborate more, I may not. I may talk about this some more, I may not. Maybe I'll do a part 2. I'm definitely gonna rank the divas because I just think that would be fun. So I'm gonna do that. But yes, thank you for watching. I'm gonna get better at these, guys. Just give me a sec. I'm going to get better at these. Anyways, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Like, subscribe.